fans are critically injured in violence ahead of England's first match in the European Championship. Police use water cannon and tear gas but can't stop running battles through the streets of Marseille. Good evening. A dark shadow has been cast over the European Championships tonight after 2 England fans were critically injured during violence in Marseille. French riot police used tear gas and water cannon to try to disperse fights between Russian, French and English fans. Up to 20 other England fans were taken to hospital as chairs and bottles were used as weapons. We'll have a full reaction on England's opening match against Russia in a moment. First to events outside the ground, our correspondent Emma Murphy witnessed today's violence and sent this report, which includes some graphic footage.
In the shadow of the stadium, the ugliness that has cast such a dark shadow on this tournament. A different place, but the same old violence that has blighted the past few days. It's the same old faces too. Here, the Russians launch their attack on the England fans and get the response they were hoping for. Take a look at the man in the green shorts. Here he is at the Old Port earlier today. And what violence it was. To sounds more likely on a battlefield, they fight in the picturesque city of Marseille. It is the 3rd day in succession, and those who supposedly love the beautiful game have showcased its most brutal side. English, Russian, French, North African and most likely others seizing the chance for a fearsome battle. Marseille had feared that with England and Russia would come trouble, to add to the trouble they already have here. But this was a bloody example of how things can go so very wrong. Just half an hour before the violence began, this was the scene on the same streets. Good humour, fun, and a feeling of international friendship. How fast that changed. England fans say they were singled out by the Russians and not helped by the French police. There is no doubt it was a vicious free-for-all. Just how many people have been injured is not yet clear, but these running battles have gone on for hours and the number is likely to be significant. At least one England fan is critically injured.
The team haven't even made it to the pitch, and yet England's Euro campaign is likely to be remembered more for the violence, breaking of glass and tear gas that we've seen here than for what goes on when they're playing. It's important to remember that this involves only the minority of England fans, along with some locals and some Russians.
Even with minutes to go until kick-off, those who supposedly came here for football were still fighting. Some wearing the shirts of club or country as they marauded along these streets. What began before kick-off looks likely to continue beyond this final whistle.
And Emma, more signs of trouble following tonight's game.
Yes, indeed. The Old Port here, where that trouble broke out during the day, was empty whilst the match was on. But after the final whistle, it's starting to fill up again. Many of those individuals wearing the black T-shirts that we saw earlier. But more significantly, what's going on at the stadium absolutely right now. Large groups of Russian fans have been described as trying to storm part of the British ranks. Some of the England fans had to leap over barriers to get away. We're told that this included women and some children. This is a really very, very serious problem now for UEFA and for France, as well as for England and Russia, because there are very serious sanctions that can be taken against these countries, which include being ejected from the tournament if this violence is deemed to be so serious, or indeed if it continues.
All right, Emma Murphy, Marseille, thank you.